So, on this episode with dear old Kevin Samuels, he gets a caller from a woman who I think is exhibiting some pretty obvious red flags. It is obvious to me that Homegirl is playing herself. So, let's take a look, and then I want to know down in the comments, what do y'all think? Does she need to stop playing with her potential and get it together?
First of
Okay.
all, were you guys in a monogamous committed relationship?
Yes.
Did you guys have that conversation and establish that?
Yes, we did.
That's number two. Why did you pick the guy you picked if you said he wasn't the best person?
Because I was much younger.
How old were you?
I was 22.
11 years ago?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Okay, so pause for the cause. Homegirl is 33 years old, and a decade after she got out of this toxic relationship, she is still tied to the trauma. Literally 11 years later, she is calling into this relationship expert show to get advice based on something she experienced 10 years ago. I once had a conversation with a relationship coach that told me that they saw so many women who would come to them. They had gotten hurt, had their heart broken, had decided that they're going to take time off from dating. So they literally became like a crab, went into their shell, didn't talk to anybody for 5, 10 years sometimes. But guess what? After that 10 years was over and they decided to get back out there and start dating again, as soon as they started entertaining people, they started experiencing the exact same thing that they were experiencing before they took time off. Do you know why? It's because during that time off, they didn't develop themselves. They didn't learn any lessons. They didn't start taking accountability or figuring out how they needed to improve themselves so that their options would improve. They literally just hit the pause button and took a break without doing any work.
Seriously?
Yes, it was
It was traumatic. I mean, no offense, man, but you ain't went through slavery. You ain't went through nothing. 11 years ago, you had your feelings hurt.
For real.
No, 11 years ago, I realized that like people will lie and be very
okay. All right.
dishonest
So
and-
have you ever broken up with a man?
Of course.
Have you ever lied to a man?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I've lied to a man, but not about like
Oh, of course not. Of course, it's
things.
always different when you guys do it.
It's always different. Listen, as however you may feel about Kevin Samuels, okay, I definitely felt some type of way when I first started watching his content. But as hard as I try, I cannot defend these women who call into his show with these crazy stories about the things that they have been through. And then once he starts picking apart their story and asking some tough questions, it all starts to crumble. And so as we can see, as he digs a little deeper, literally what she's complaining about that destroyed her over a decade ago is something that she has actually done to someone else. So she's acting as if what she has experienced is something out of the ordinary or something that other people don't experience. And she's basing all of her current experiences off of something that she went through in her 20s more than a decade ago. Does this sound familiar to y'all? Because I know for sure that I got some aunties and some cousins that have taken decades off from dating, but they have done no development. So if they ever do decide that they want to get back out there, they're literally going to be attracting partners from a place of brokenness, from a place of pain, because they have not taken time to heal themselves.
Oh my gosh.
See, this is why
It's
you
not.
this is why you ladies talk to each other and this shit makes sense to you.
Mhm.
11 years ago, somebody lied to you and hurt your feelings. Get over it. You expect, okay, how about this? Hey, Tom. Tom is 33 years old, and he's like, man, I don't treat these women special. I treat them like they don't mean nothing. Why? Because, man, 11 years ago, this chick lied to me. What would you say about that dude?
I've listen, to be honest, I've heard that before from men.
Right. And you say, what? And what do you think of those men?
Maybe they're being a little dramatic, possibly.
Right.
But you can see the logic in that.
So guys, as we can see, the more we peel back the layers of this story, it's just not making sense. The math. And so before you start making excuses for bad behavior or bad decision making, we got to start taking some accountability. We got to start taking ownership over the things that we are experiencing and start realizing that we are the common denominator amongst all of the things that we have experienced. So if you are consistently being mistreated, it must be because you're allowing it. If you're consistently finding yourself in these toxic situations, it's probably because there is something that piques your interest about that toxic type of person. So do some self-reflection. Become a little bit more self-aware so that you can truly experience what it's like to be loved properly. You deserve it.